Hey guys, this is Sammy, Beast Mode TV, back with another video. I wanted to title this video is my first year selling options and the truth that they don't tell you. Alrighty guys, so the truth that I wanted to talk to you guys about was how my first year selling option was nothing like I expect. I made money, lost money, and I found out the hard way what actually works. And if you're thinking about selling options, watch this before you make the same mistakes I did. So expect expectations versus reality. When I started selling options, I thought it was free money, collecting premium watch time, decay, and then profits. But then I realized that the psychology behind the strategy is more important than more is is just as important as the strategy itself. Stress is a really like when the stock drops is very important. Feeling too safe with certain trades when like sometimes like I'll have some puts like in the past that I thought that the stock was gonna go up and I was gonna be fine and I didn't roll them and then it was and ended up being like I ended up being too overconfident and sometimes I was too underconfident on some particular trades that I should have been, and it caused me to be in positions that I shouldn't have been. Um Also, when I first 2 months, I sold options way too close to the money, and, and I used to sell options, like, any moment at a time, like, I was just like, "Oh, the stock's here, let's just sell options," and I'm, like, thinking back in time, I'm like, "Holy crap," like, I coulda gotten a lot better entries into these puts. Like, in the beginning when I was selling options, I was doing the deltas were way too high, and I wanted the big premium, and I was basically begging to just get assigned. That's literally what I was high delta equals high risk, and that's a premium trap. It's like the shiny object syndrome. You see the object, and it's very shiny, and you want it. Greedy contracts on volatile stocks as well. If a stock is volatile, it's not 30%, it's not 30 delta. Now you got to go back to like 20, or, according to how the stock moves, you have to readjust your strategy for that particular reason. And that was one of the lessons I learned the most. It was a really hard lesson, as well as so the lesson was small premiums plus high probability is greater than big premiums plus regret. Basically, that's it. You just gotta make sure you're very confident in what you're doing, but also you have to be very level-headed and making sure that you're making the best decision on the chessboard. Mistake. Selling options on trash stocks. When I first started, I started selling options in on like JetBlue and stocks like that. Um, I started selling on JetBlue and stocks like that. And yes, I saw it go down, saw it go up, and I didn't know what particular stock that I wanted at the particular time. So selling options on good stocks is crucial. I sold stocks that look cheap and they were cheap for a reason, and picking stocks with no liquidity as well. And like the stock kept falling and getting assigned shares that you just don't want. So quality is always better than premium. Not having enough buying power as well. I over leveraged my account. One red week and suddenly I couldn't manage anything. You have to be able to manage your account. Don't over trade cash your puts, and don't give yourself no room to roll as well. And because the easiest way to crush an account is by assignment and the stock drops. It's one of the most unfortunate ways that this particular strategy and selling options in general could hurt yourself. Always have a cash buffer, and that becomes, it gives you stress relieving trading. Now, what started to work was selling out of the money puts with low deltas as well. Is always using different things to entry, to get better puts or better cover calls so that could be higher, as well as different like little tricks. And when I when the stock is down, that's when you want to sell puts. When the stock is up, that's when you want to sell cover calls. Those are very basic, but things that that you have to think about and make sure that you know that in your back of your mind. As well as I learned a valuable lesson. This One of the valuable lessons that I learned this year was from how much money you can make buying calls. That is one of the biggest lessons I've learned. It was a huge lesson that I learned, and it was very it it didn't, of course, because when you buy calls, you're expecting it to go up. So I had stocks. I just didn't have the right amount of leaps that I wanted, and I didn't stock up on leaps when I should have been. And now I know from this, from this is my first year doing it, but I learned so many lessons. Like there's so much money in leaps and buying calls. Like I knew that there was money in it, but I didn't know how much money it was like actually in it. As well as when you're on a smaller account. This is, by the way, this is not financial advice. This is one person talking to another person. And I just wanted to talk about how sometimes when you're on a smaller portfolio, um, you want to pick one stock to basically trade. And again, this could work bad in your favor, also really good in your favor. So you also have to think about this logically if this works for you. But sometimes it is good to basically bet in your hand. Of course, you could do it with 2 stocks and 3 stocks, but you're just if they go up, it might not increase your account the way you want it to. As well as one of my other mistakes was the the one of my mistakes was how valuable cover calls are, like how valuable cover calls are, and how you need to manage them on bull runs and when your company swings like really high, because that is the difference between you making a lot of money, not making a lot of money. Because cover calls is kind of like you're basically shorting the stock in a way, because you don't want the stock to really go up at a certain level. So those are things that I actually had to learn big time. I learned that with Nvidia. Um, yeah, I learned that with Nvidia as well as SoFi, with certain times of the market. I still made money, but I could have made more money than I could have. It's just different things that I should have been rolling beforehand. I was thinking, again, I was being too confident on particular positions, thinking that I know the market and I think the market's going to go down when it really didn't, and things like that. Of course, it's good to think about these things. I'm glad that I'm making this video so I could think about the mistakes and big mistakes that I've made in this year, so I could speak to you guys to help me out and as well as you out. So we talked about getting good stocks. We talked about the importance of leaps. They could really increase your account if done properly in the correct moment. As well as we talked about cover calls, how important they are, and how they could be detrimental to your growth. As well as we talked about being overconfident in a particular position that you think that the market and that the stock is going to move down on your cover calls and it really goes up, or your cash secure puts that you think it's going to go up and it really keeps going down. You really don't know the market. The market is the way the market is, and don't think you figured it out. That's pretty much it. Let's think. We talked about cover calls, how detrimental they are. We talked about being overconfident and not being too underconfident, because what happens is that you basically will have a stock move up on you. You're thinking about rolling, you roll too soon, then next thing you know, what you call it, the stock basically did a fake out and you lost some premium, or you put more time into your contract. So those are some things that to work on, guys, and I'm glad that I got through this video of talking about things, about these different things that helped me out. I mean, that were mistakes on my part to help you guys out. Rolling early is honestly one of the biggest things that you could do on certain times. Also, rolling too early could be also a mistake as well. And yes, the hardest part was learning deltas or IVs. It was controlling myself. Trading is not the hard part. Trading is the easy part. Basically, yourself and your emotions are the hard part. FOMO is one of them. Taking too many trades, holding losers, thinking that they're gonna come out on top, taking wins too early, and being scared to roll are big crucial ones as well. Premium selling is a psychological game disguised as a math strategy. Again, you have to have some sort of grit and risk factor to this thing. This is at the end of the day, you are risking your time. You're risking your money for time, not your time for money. And thank you guys for watching. My first year option selling taught me a lot of these things, and consistency being right. Always at the end of the day, if you can be consistent and do as much volume as you possibly can and learn as much as you possibly can, and if you're truly doing your best, then you can't be mad at yourself. Small wins add up, and the traders who survive are the ones who stay patient, disciplined, and mechanical. If you want more experiences instead of hype, subscribe. I break down my trades every week, as well as different trades in the Discord. If you guys want to join, it's still free. Yes, and thank you for guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye bye.